Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Rachel. You are at the Stitch Bird's Nest. Welcome if you haven't been here before, and welcome if you are back again. It has been a while. I have WIPs, I have a fully finish, I have a new start, and I have life updates. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. But actually, if you're new here, I better say I have cross stitch, I do embroidery, I do a little bit of anything stitchy, so I always have a mix. So first up, I have my little cottage garden threads. This is the Field Journal project. You would have heard me talk about in other videos, but I'll pop up the fully finished bit I've done so far. It is a 3-year project that I did, started in lockdown. It got really disturbed, but essentially I do these little stitcheries, and they get sewn around and made into this big quilt when they're done, and this is a third of it. So this is a little bit I'm working on at the moment. It's not totally finished, but I just wanted to show it to you because I am loving that thread. So it is just so pretty. It does this really subtle change from the green to the blue. It's hard to show it to you on here. Green to the blue, and it's got this little tinge of yellow in it. It is so pretty. I am loving it. Yeah, it's a really delicate thread. I'll pop the name down below because I can't remember. I'm lucky if I remember what day it is. So yeah, there is that. My second WIP is the one that I had to do a restart on. So it is, I keep thinking it's called the Quack-Along. It's not called the Quack-Along, it's called the Quacker Sampler, as in like Quaker Sampler, but the Quacker Sampler. So I had to do a restart because I started stitching on the long side instead of the short side. Well done me. So this is my pick it up and stitch duck whenever I feel like it. So I have done a restart. I have 2 and a bit ducks and some feathers. I love this. This fabric is amazing, and no, I can't remember the name, so again I'll pop that down below. I'll pop it at the bottom here. And I am using 12 weight sulky thread, which is my new favorite thing because it just doesn't split, it's not fluffy, and look at their definition. Oh my gosh, sulky's amazing. Where have you been all my stitching life? It's so nice. I love the sulky. Blue spruce, I think that's the name of the fabric. And it's by, the pattern's by Star Parade. The Quack-Along is like Stitch Along but a Quack-Along. And I think it started with Butterfly Stitches. She was the first one, I think, to call it the Quack-Along, and I thought that was a great idea, so I started it with her. And she's doing a really nice blue and yellow combination, which is really pretty. Trying to put my hand behind it so you're getting a bit more sort of depth of colour. But yeah, I really liked the call for, which was this blue spruce, and I can't remember the call for, it might have been ecru or something, but white, it's white. Yeah, and I couldn't go past it because I hadn't seen such a nice blue. So yeah, that is the gorgeous Quacker Sampler, and you will have seen the full pattern up here by now, but it's just full of ducks and feathers and all amazing things. And I love ducks, aren't they fun? Who said feeding ducks is for like children? It's one of my favorite things to do, although now I have to work out what to feed ducks because I always thought feeding breed was great. Apparently feeding breed is really bad. So I need something better to feed ducks. Because yeah, still one of my favorite things to do. And yeah, look at this needle minder. Isn't this amazing? I love this. I got this from Crafty Emily. It was a little birthday splurge for myself last year because I've been admiring these Dragon Eye needle minders from her for ages. And so that was my little happy birthday to me moment. Right, what else have I got? I've been stitching on a lot of stuff. It's been fun. Ooh, my birthday start last year. Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. So this is a 5-year project. I worked out if I stitch around, on average, 200 stitches a month, which is nothing, for 5 years, because I turned 45 last year. By the time I'm 50, it'll be done. So it's kind of a no pressure, bit by bit sampler project that I can just pick up and enjoy, but also kind of know that it will be done. So yeah, because otherwise I just like to know there is a deadline at some point in the future. So this is the little bit I've done. So I think that's around 500 stitches. So I'm a little bit behind, but let's face it, I can sit down for a weekend and catch up. So, but how good is that color? That is Silks for You. This this thread. I bought a big hank of the equivalent of black. I'll put down the PR number down here for you. But it's really like inky and has a slightly, it doesn't, I wouldn't call it variegated because it's not. It really is dark, but it does have an ever so slightly kind of tint, I suppose, which makes it look sort of more natural in a way, not as flat. That's it, not as flat as a black DMC. So, but I love it, and oh my gosh, Silks for You, how amazing are you guys? But yeah, pandemic, I've been wanting to do this for ages. And look at this fabric, check it out, it's like a sheet. Amazing. I think this is a 30, oh geez, I'm so bad with fabric counts. I'm gonna say 32 or 36 count. It was a mystery fabric I had in my cupboard. I did count it before I started to make sure I had enough, but I can't remember now. Forgive me. It'll fit. That's the important bit. Alright. Oh, the next one makes me so happy. It's my favorite, bright, happy. I get to stitch cutesy little animals. Stitchery. It is Stitchy Goddess. Stitchy Goddess. I did heaps on her over the summer. I got all her hair in, the flowers, the moon with the moon rays, and hummingbird. Look at that little thing. Isn't she gorgeous? Oh gosh, she's so gorgeous. I love that I'm now stitching cutesy animals. And no, she doesn't have any arms because the hummingbird took priority. Sorry. Yeah, she's just so bright and colorful. She is by Tiny Modernist, and I dyed this fabric myself. It was a 28 count. I definitely feel like it shrunk a little bit, but it's so nice and soft from the dyeing process and stuff. So I'm really happy with how that's worked out. She is coming along nicely. Yeah, she's going to be such a pretty stitch when she's all done. Really different from my other stuff, to be honest. Like, I have a lot of tone on tones or monotones, but I don't have anything really bright like this. I definitely think when I finish this one, I'll start another Tiny Modernist, because yeah, I have a real list going. So yeah, but she is just such a beautiful stitch, and I love that hair. I think I've said in every video I've made with her in it that I love that hair. So yeah, but she is coming along so nicely. Right, the next one is canvas work. So not cross stitch, but still counting. So you're counting, but you might be stitching in lines or diagonals or whatever. This is a really cool one. This is called the Orb, and it's a class I did by Helen Pierce. This is a three-dimensional ball. It is going to look like that when it's done, and it's quite sturdy, and yeah. I've got a cardboard one somewhere, I've lost it, template that I made. And so I'm in New Zealand, and Helen Pierce is part of the Coromandel Guild of Embroiderers here in New Zealand, and she did this class for us in the Waikato last year, and I've just been plodding away on it, and it's really fun. I'm really enjoying it, and it's coming out so well. So you have to do 3 strips in order to make this. So I have finished strip 1 in this really nice variegated blue, and then I've got stripes of green and dark blue, but the variegated blue came out really cool. That'll look really funky when it's all kind of twisted up. And then I've just got into strip 2, which is that zigzag of dark blue and light blue. I'm showing you the back. Let's turn that over. The zigzag of dark blue and light blue, and then the stripes again of green and blue. So yeah, that's going to look really cool when it's done. This is like my nighttime stitching because it's got really big holes in it. And sadness of sadness, my big stitching light is not working. So I'm really struggling to stitch at night. But yeah. I haven't done much on the 3rd strip. Only like a tiny little sample piece that they taught us in the beginning. But when these 3 strips are done, you sew them together in like a ring. Took me a moment. And then she's got a really nifty, tricky way of putting them all together into the ball, which I can't tell you because it's her secret. You'll have to do her class if you're in New Zealand to find out. But yeah, it's really cool, and she's taught a lot of these classes. These are really popular, so lucky here in New Zealand to get these amazing classes. So that is the Orb, and I've been making good progress on that, so I hope to have that done soon. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know that I restarted this like 4 times. I've finally done what I consider to be my last restart. I have solved the problem. So the problem I had, and I'll show you the problem. The problem I had, this is the Gothic Cathedral by Circle Cross. I'll pop it up here so you can see it. The problem I had was fitting all that detail into my fabric without it like just looking messy as. Like, so this looks okay, right, from a distance, and that's all fine, but when I got down to like these stained glass windows, it just couldn't get them in, and they started looking really uneven and squashed and really not good. And I did like a couple of restarts. I stopped using metallic thread. I started using really fine silk to make it like really soft and more flexible, and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. Anyway, in my last video, someone said to me, have you tried using 14 count, Ada? This may sound obvious, but I went back to the pattern. I read right through the pattern. It actually doesn't tell you what count to use. And I had just gone with what I usually use, which is 18 count. So I emailed the pattern designer and she goes, oh no, I used 14 count, and I just couldn't believe it. I just thought, oh my gosh, I wasted so much time and effort thinking I was doing something wrong, that the thread wasn't working for me, and the problem all along was that I was using the wrong count. And that, I mean, if I'm wrong and it's in the pattern somewhere, I'm really sorry, but I could not see that anywhere. So yeah, I was using the wrong count all along and I just couldn't believe it. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because that is so saving me a whole lot of misery. And I mean, clearly I love this pattern, otherwise I would not have restarted it multiple times, and I would not be mucking around this much. It's meant to be a temperature stitch. Every little colour in that cathedral stained glass window, like each window is meant to be a month, each colour is meant to be a day in the temperature. I've also decided that unless you're stitching like a lot and fairly monogamously, it's not really doable, because I just can't keep up with that. So it's now going to be a just stitch a bit on it when I want and make progress. Stop trying to catch up, because as soon as I start trying to keep up and don't keep up, it gets chucked in the back of the cupboard and I don't touch it again. So here we go. 14 count, hang on, I'll just cover that up at the back so you can see. 14 count. I did 3 tests in different threads to make sure it was going to work and that the thread wasn't going to interfere with it too much. I did a silk, I did a DMC, and I did a metallic. The metallic is the one that really is going to make this look amazing. And the metallic is actually the one in the middle. And given that you really can't see a great deal between them, and actually the metallic looks good, I went straight back to the metallic. So this is all done in metallic and it's looking so crisp and clean on the 14 count. The windows are always going to look a little bit bitsy going around the edge. Can't really avoid that, but even the window segments are looking a lot sort of sharper, and down here you can see when I'm stitching really close together they're much more defined. So I'm so much happier with it already. And yeah, it's going to be so much better. So I'm just going to plot away on it. I'm going to work on all the outlines first. I'm not going to fill in the colour bit on it. And if I get all the outlines, all the white done this year, then maybe I'll start on a temperature stitch next year, or maybe I'll just start mid-year, you know, or maybe I won't do a temperature stitch. Maybe I'll do the colours for something else, or maybe I will throw all the colours in the air and pick the one that lands on my hand every day. I don't know. Who knows? But I'm not going to stress about that and keeping up, because yeah, otherwise this will never get done, and I just love it and I would like it on my wall. So yeah, so that is where I'm at. It's an amazing pattern. She's done such a good job, but yeah, the thread count matters. So yeah, I should have clicked. I don't know why I didn't click. Thank you, Zeb, for commenting on that, because I don't know why I didn't even think of that. I just, forest for the trees, you know. My thoughts jumped straight to metallic thread is horrible to stitch with, that must be the problem. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think of anything else. other than that, straight off the bat. So yeah. Alright, what else? Do have a new start, but before I get to that, again, people who've been watching my videos will have seen these a few times. These are the book binding project. It's not done, but I have made great progress. Get my thread out of the way. Okay, I now have 2 laced covers. Bring those in, not too close, don't want you to see any flaws. Is that focusing? It's doing something weird. Don't focus on my face, no one wants to see that. We're all here for embroidery. And there's the spine of the little book. My initials down the bottom. I really regret that colour choice when I've put my initials and the year, because it kind of looks like biro. But it's kind of all attached now. I can't take it back. So if you get close, you can tell it's stitched and I haven't just written on there in biro. But yeah, I was kind of like, that was a really bad colour choice. So now that I have, hang on, I'll just put them up, all 3 pieces. My next job is to stitch them all together. And I have made, I'll just undo this. So this is my little sample book. I'll show you the little binding. Came out so much better than the last time I did this. It was awful, looked terrible, the binding was terrible, but no. So that's my sample one. This is my actual one. It's just been held together by rubber bands just to keep it nice and flat, but you can see my binding in there, all stitched together nicely. You can see I've got a couple of pages to do. And that's my marble paper. How amazing is that? That'll be in the inside cover. So I've almost finished binding my book. Then I've got to stitch my covers together. Then I've got to stitch my covers onto the book. And then I've just got to put the inside covers on the book. And I am done. It's a year's worth of work in that. And it's like, it's blown me away. Like, that was a tough project, a really tough project. That is Marie Talbot, by the way, Australian tutor, amazing tutor and designer. If you ever get a chance to do a course with her, just take it. Like, you will learn so much. I learned so much from her. And yes, I struggled, like, definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone. I'm a counter. I do really well on counted work. Anything that requires a lot of detail, I find really challenging. But a really good light magnifying goggles and a lot of patience and swearing later. And I'm really proud of that book. It's not perfect. I wouldn't want to sit and compare it to what the others made, but it's going to be magnificent. And I really, really want to get a plastic or glass dome. Think Beauty and the Beast rose style to stand my book in with little lights on the inside, so that I can stand it like a magnificent, glorious, magical book. And that is how I want to display it. So I am determined, if anyone sees one of those around, I want to know about it. My book is going to be this high, which is, I would say 15 centimeters. So I reckon I will need a 20 centimeter, maybe less, 20-ish centimeter glass or plastic dome. That is what I'm after. Lights I can DIY. So yeah, I'm like, this thing is so special. I spent so much time on it. I want the Beauty and the Beast moment, so everyone can stare at it in awe when they come in, as they should. So yeah, if you put that much work into a piece, you should do it too. So yeah. Right, new start. I have joined the 2025 ANZEG, so Association New Zealand Embroiderers Guild. So that's our national body. Mystery sampler, and they do this every 2 years, I believe, to raise money for our national conference. And this year, the person running it is Marie, I think it's Bernard, I think. Apologies if I've said that wrong. And it's a spot sampler. So that's all you know about it. So a spot sampler is when you stitch different motifs in one piece. It kind of makes me think of like an Amish sampler and the way they have different sort of pieces all in one piece. So, and it's going to be like a journey through history. So she started off with a bit of black work, and she's gone on to, I can't remember the name of the piece, some stitches I don't remember, to be honest. Sorry, really informative. And you pick your own fabric, you pick your own threads. She's given some guidelines on it. I'm already not really following the instructions, which is great of me. The other thing is, she said, because it's a spot sampler, if you don't like one of the spots, the motifs that she makes, she's like, leave it out. You know, you can kind of mix it up as you like. So this is my little start, and yes, look at this fabric. It's like raspberry coloured. It's actually called fuchsia, but yeah, I think raspberry when I see it. I'm going to put it up against my jersey because it's about the same colour. Let me just get something pop behind us. There is my little start. Black work. Oh, I've just realised I have it upside down because we're starting at the bottom for some reason. So that's my little spot. And there's two other spots that go with month one. So I haven't quite finished this bit, although there's not much more. And then there's a little kind of vase piece. And then there's these really cute strawberries, which I'm really looking forward to doing. And she gives you guidelines on when and how to change the colours. So she's recommended like 4 colours, and each colour has like 3 different shades. This is where I have already, was it 4 or was it 3? Yeah, no, it was 4. Alright, my yellow's just disappeared off the side of the couch. I'm not going to extract that. I'm just gonna, yeah, it was 4 colours, and I've already broken the rules because I have 5 colours because I cannot narrow it down. And I'm just going to chuck these up. And because you can decide as you go, I figure 1 or 2 of these might drop out as you go. You can kind of get, look at that palette. How like bright and colourful is that? It's like summery, and yeah. You see that? It's really professionally laid out. I hope you appreciate my effort. But yeah, so I'm just going to use those colours and just nice, bright, colourful. She said at the end you can make a cushion, you can make a project bag, She's given a different layout for a project bag. I'm a bit lazy and didn't want to do the tacking for the project bag, so I will just make a square project bag if I want to. Or you can make a bag out of it, just a normal tote bag. Yeah, she's given a few suggestions on what you can do with it at the end. And oh, you had to choose a light and a dark, so I've gone with a dark, like a really dark blue and a really light blue. And there's a metallic, which I've lost, and mine is a silver, because I think a silver will run through with all those colours fairly well. So that's the mystery sampler. It's not a big commitment each month. That little bit that I've done only took me like about an hour and a half just to whip through it, and one was done, and that's a third of it. So yeah, should be quite doable to keep up on. And because you can just drop a motif if you don't like it, I figure if I'm not keeping up, it's not the end of the world. I'll just start picking and choosing what I like. So that's kind of cool. You can still join. There is a fee, $35, because obviously it's a fundraiser for our conference to help cover costs and things like that. I'll put the website down below where you can click on the link and go and find out more information and join up if you want to. Because you can use your own materials, there's no kit or anything like that. You can do it from wherever you are in the world, and just have a bit of fun. And it's a Facebook group where people are sharing their different combinations. Mine's really bright and colourful. Most people's, so far at least, have been a lot more subdued and probably a lot more traditional. So, you know, it's very much to your own taste and stuff. Right, where are we at? That is all my WIPs. That's the only new start I've got. So, fully finished item. Now this one's been on my videos before as a finished item, and I have finally fully finished it. So here it is. Isn't that stunning? I am so happy with how that finish came out. I was not sure how I was going to finish this. I definitely had that feeling of it needing a black frame. It definitely had to be round because of the design of the stitch, and I just thought a hoop's the only way to go. So I just got a really cheap hoop. In fact, I'd been given some cheap hoops and I just painted it black and thought, well, nothing to lose, and I popped it on and I'm just like, wow, that really did everything it needed. Just a thin black frame, and just has given it everything it needs. So yeah, really, really happy with how that has come out, and it is going to look amazing up on the wall. So yeah, really happy. It's my 2x2 stitch on Etsy, and I think it was just called Starry Night or yeah, I'll pop the info down below. But yeah, it was a little while ago when I actually fully finished this, but I haven't really been back to show you. So here it is. So yeah, so that's that. Oh, put something on there. Yeah, so I'm watching a bit of Flosstube lately. Not tons. It's always a bit hard to like keep up with what's going on, but still watching Thread Gremlins. Those girls just had me in hysterics. It's so funny. And Bendy Stitchy, always good. Blue Flower, it's good to see what she's up to and designing. And oh my gosh, the Nashville Needlework sneak peeks that have been coming out have been fantastic. I am just loving them. I've got a couple of favorites that I'll tell you about, and then I'll give you a life update. So if you want to hear those two things, stick around. If you don't, thank you for coming. If you'd like to know more about my octopus, who I've just realised is sitting right beside me on the couch. Really observant, hey? This is Octavia's pie, and yes, I bought him for me. But anyway, really like sea animals, and I thought this was one fantastic stuffed animal at an exhibit I went to. So, yeah. Pigeon and Puddle, the Nashville Needlework Market, Pigeon and Puddle by the Blue Flower. I don't think you can get anything more amusing than that little pigeon staring into a puddle wearing tiny boots. So run, do not walk to buy yourself Pigeon and Puddle, because that's what I'll be doing. That's got to be my top favourite thing from Needlework Market. And it's such a little thing, you know, but it's so fantastic, and it just makes me smile, and having it on the wall I know will make me smile. Right, and the second one that I would like to bring to your attention is Birdie Bowl, and that is also by the Blue Flower. And as you can see up here, look at those little birds. Oh my gosh, so cute. And again, we see a theme. Yes, I like birds. Number 3 is by Erina Elizabeth Designs, and we're still following a bird theme, and that is birds and nature. And it's just a really nice, I mean, it almost looks like a painting, but it's a beautiful sparrow. I really like the sparrow, and I really like how she's done those flowers and the leaves and things. So that is definitely on my list. Number 4 is by the Blueberry Ridge, and that is Hazel's Blackberry Burrow. Oh my gosh. I just can't, you know, like, there's a teapot, there's a tiny mouse who's hanging up tiny clothes on her tiny washing line, wearing tiny boots. More tiny boots. It's just so cute, and yeah, again, actually quite different from stuff I've stitched in the past. I don't usually stitch things this kind of cutesy, but gee, I like small things. I like little things. I have lots of like little tiny animal ornaments, and I like animals. So yeah, I'm loving it. Hazel's Blackberry Burrow, and it feels like something you could kind of start stitching and kind of have finished in a very short amount of time, which I think is another reason I'm liking sort of these smaller projects. And the last one, totally different, is by the Primitive Hair, and I don't know how to say this word, so bear with me. Dunvegan Fairy Flag, and I just thought this was so striking, such a striking piece, and those colors are just, well, lack of colors I suppose, but like just the tones in there are just really beautiful, and there's just something about that. I mean, yeah, like I just thought, wow, when I saw it, that is so different and just so beautifully done. So yeah, so those are my Nashville Needlework sort of wish list picks. There is a theme of birds and tiny boots, what can I say? So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. So we will see, but yeah, I'm sure we've all got things we want. So I think that is most things. Last thing to bring you all up to date on is my life news, which has been pretty full on, to be honest. You may notice I have a different backdrop. I still have the same pictures and the same furniture, but I'm living in a new house, and that is because I've separated from my partner, which is a pretty a pretty big thing, particularly after 24 years. So that's what's been going on in my life in the background. I'm sure a few of you sort of got the impression that that might be what was leading up to things at the end of last year. But the new house is brand new, like in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I've got 2 kids, 10 excuse me, 10 and 13. So navigating life with custody and dealing with kids, and you know, good thing is we're all kind of on the same page, and you know, things are friendly and things, but I'm sure a lot of you out there have been through similar things, and it's tough, and no matter how nice everyone is, it's still a lot to get used to. So I'm trying to keep myself entertained with my stitching and a bit of sewing and just other things when I don't have my kids. And yeah, it's kind of tough. I used to have an online stitching group, but that's no more, unfortunately, so I do miss that a bit. I was hoping that would fill a bit of a gap, but yeah, luckily my embroiderer's guild definitely fills a bit of the gap and things like that. But yeah, life is never a straight line, is what I always say, you know. It's just bumps and ups and downs on the road, really. So yeah, but feeling pretty positive overall, and it's going to be interesting and exciting to see where life goes from here. But yeah, anyway, I think that is everything. So that is my embroidery journey, my life update, and everything for another roughly month. Try to get back here every 3 or 4 weeks. Obviously it's been a bigger gap, but you can tell why now. Apart from my life in general, everything has been in boxes. So yeah, but anyway, I will see you next month. I've got some classes coming up between now and then, and they are exciting ones, so I will update you about them next month, and you'll get to see some cool stuff and probably some haul, because I am not going to be avoiding the shopping. So yeah. Alright, bye everyone.